To expand hiring, they're aiming to have 30% women recruits by 2030, and even allowed YouTube influencer Michelle Carre to train with agents.
But I'm very conscious as I sit in this chair now of making sure that we need to attract diverse candidates and ensure that we are developing and giving opportunities to everybody in our workforce, and particularly women.
That workforce will be pivotal for the 2024 campaign season, which for the first time includes a former president who already has lifetime protection. Agents were there when Donald Trump was arraigned in New York.
We were able to work out the details ahead of time of how that particular day was going to go, but we will always ensure the safety of all of our protectees that we have.
The service has a zero-fail mission, a mission officers are training to uphold, pretending this field is the most famous address in America.
Stupid moron! I'm such an idiot. What was I thinking?
So at this latest Trump rally where he was almost assassinated, his mostly female Secret Service agent staff that failed to protect him also had trouble getting their weapons back in their holsters. They had gear that was just falling, just tons of incompetence, allowing the shooter to get up on the roof, allowing 7 shots to be fired off, allowing one person to be killed, 2 other people to be critically injured, as well as the former president being shot himself and having to be rushed to the hospital. It's a miracle he did not die. I mean, he was, if he turned his head the other way, I mean, he was like 2 millimeters away from basically having his head blown off. And here we are with the lead, I don't know what you want to call her, spokesperson of the Secret Service, who is obviously a woman. Miss The Future is Female. Another, what's her name from Star Wars? What's that woman's name? Katherine Kennedy. But the Secret Service version of her saying, you know what, by 2030, I want mostly over half the staff, or what it is, what number she's looking for, 48% of Secret Service agents to be female. I mean, this is one of the most important jobs in the world. You are protecting our world leaders. I don't want to leave that to chance, right? Just so I could virtue signal, so I could look, so I could look good for the optics, for the cameras, for the media. No, I want to do what's right, what's in the best interest of keeping people safe, saving people's lives, keeping the incompetence to a bare minimum, right? I mean, there should be zero incompetence. There should be zero room for failure. However, when you hire people that were not put in these positions because they earned it, but because of skin color, gender, whatever, then you put people's lives at risk, right? I've always been against that. I'm for a merit-based society, right? I want the best people in these positions. Maybe there are some positions you can kind of play with, even that I'm against, but like I was just saying, this is one of the most important roles, one of the most important jobs you could have, right? Keeping people safe, protecting people's lives. This is not a playground. This is not a movie, right? Where you get the 5'2", 100-pound woman beating up 6'5", 250-pound jack guys. It's not a movie, right? And I'm tired of playing pretend. And this is why I can't stand movies these days, because they brainwash people into believing this crap, where some women actually do believe this crap, and simps believe this crap. And so, when it comes to this stuff, you will end up having blood on your hands, as they do. right? People who push this stuff, they have blood on their hands. I mean, look at what just happened yesterday. You tell me you don't have blood on your hands if you're down with this, because I'm not. And Trump, I mean, yeah, he needs to, and he's supposed to be the guy who's not so nice, right? The guy who's more outspoken, which he is. But he should have been more outspoken when it came to his protection, right? I mean, he is a public figure. I mean, if I were in his position, especially say the things that he says and as much, backlash as he gets, I would look at that Secret Service team, and like, if I'm looking around and most of them are women, I'd be like, hey, ladies, no offense. I need to have, and if the government doesn't want to provide him with it, he has billions of dollars. He can easily afford his own staff, right? So I'd be like, ladies, no offense, but I want people here that can actually, pass the test required to be part of my team to protect me. Right? I mean, I would just hire my own bodyguard staff, right? I would get ex-Green Berets. I would get military snipers. I would get the best, just the best protection I could possibly get, based on what I can afford. And again, he's a billionaire. He can afford it. Because is it really worth putting your life in danger? And other people's lives in danger, the people who showed up at that rally, I feel bad for them, right? I feel bad for them because they weren't protected that day. They weren't protected because, again, you got a woke Secret Service, just like we have a woke military, just like we have, the woke corporations now, and people's lives are at risk. A lot of people ask me why I don't really fly as much anymore. How come you don't fly anymore, Em? It's because of the changes that have been made in the airline industry. And I've said this a number of times. Maybe I'll do a separate video on this. That I've always said, like before getting on a plane, it should be like Uber. You guys use Uber or Lyft? I use Lyft. I don't really care for Uber. I use Lyft sometimes. And you could see who your driver is. You could see their feedback score. I mean, you could even see a person's feedback score on eBay when you're just buying like a $5 toy or something like that. However, when you get on an airplane and you're about to risk your life, you don't get to see who's flying your plane. You don't get to see their feedback. Something's wrong with that, right? And I don't think you ever will, especially now because United Airlines and many other airlines are going to follow suit, are pushing for more diversity, right? They want more women. And it's like, why don't you just let the free markets decide? Again, I'm a capitalist, so of course the wokies, oh, you misogynist. No, I want the best person for the job, okay? Male or female, I want the best person for the job. Are there some qualified females out there who could fly a plane or, be Secret Service? I'm sure there are, right? But overwhelmingly, what gender are they? They're male, okay? They're male. And when you start sticking women in these positions, you actually put people's lives at risk. Yeah, you put people's lives at risk. My dad was around during the time of the Vietnam War. Maybe your father went to Vietnam War as well. My dad lost his eye, right? Lost his eye. And so he's blind in one eye because of that. And he always says, yeah, that was a different time. I mean, it was all men out there, right? They send you into the swamp on these night missions, they give you a rifle and you're just surrounded by dudes and you do your best to protect each other and protect yourself. Now imagine if there was a woman out there, all of a sudden the focus would be on protecting that one woman and not each other or yourself, right? Because as men, we're naturally inclined to protect women. So guess what? You put your life at risk and then you put your comrades at risk, right? Your buddies, your other soldiers, because you're out there trying to protect the women. Right? We're just intrinsically wired to do it. Right? This is part of biology. So this is why I don't feel women should be in these type of positions, right? Just like I don't feel like men should be in certain types of positions, right? That are more suited for women. But you don't see any DEI hires for, we need more men in these positions. No, because I would be against that too. I'd be like, why do we need more dudes in these positions? No, these, the women do just fine. Let them have those positions. So, I'm not, you know, there's zero hypocrisy when it comes to that, you know, in my opinion. But however, jobs like firefighter, police officer, I mean, I've dated a few women who are on board with all this, like, you know, DEI stuff. And I would always pose the question to them, like, okay, so since you're so on board with this, so if your family was in a burning building and they were 10 stories up, would you want a 6'5", strong, powerful man running up there to save them, right? Doesn't matter nationality, white, black, Asian, just big, powerful dude, right? 6'5", jack, going up and bringing your family down, carrying them down. Would you feel more comfortable with him, or would you prefer a DEI hire, a 5'1", 110-pound Asian woman, right? Fresh out of yoga class. Yeah, they gave her the job of firefighter. Would you trust her to go up there and save your family? Right? And we all know, just again, going back to biology, that women do not handle pressure as well. Look at what happened yesterday. Look at what happened with these women. Like I was mentioning earlier in the video, and you can see this in the videos yourself if you look it up. One of the Secret Service agents had a problem like getting her gun back in the holster. One of the other agents was dropping their protective equipment. I mean, yeah, they're just fumbling around. I mean, it looked like the Three Stooges out there. It was clear to me. They're DEI hires. You're not fooling me. You're not, you know, again, I am a realist. I am not going to live in this pretend world that, you know, the Matrix wants to manufacture, make you think like, oh no, it's fine. Yeah, no, they're just as strong as men. We're all the same. No, we're not. No, we're not. I just covered a video about Miss Alabama, right? This like basically 500-pound, grossly obese woman winning the crown and taking the opportunities away from these very fit, very thin women that worked hard, that dieted, that did everything right to try to win, and it was stolen from them. It was stolen from them. Why? So, the virtue signal. No, we have to give it to her. You know, we have to be more inclusive. No. Okay, no. Again, merit-based society. The person who is the most talented, the most skilled, who passes all the tests with flying colors, they should get the job, right? If you're unable to pass these tests, if you're not good enough, not qualified enough, that's okay. That means you go find something else that you're good at, right? So this really screws people up too, because you're giving them a job that they don't deserve, and you're taking away natural born talent, or you're taking away the ability for them to find their natural born talents and find a position or a career that they would be good at, that they would be more suited for. But I can't stand it when I keep hearing these, you know, these modern women get out there. They're basically feminists in disguise. You cannot tell me that the Secret Service spokesperson who is promoting all this is not, you know, a feminist in disguise. Because she is, right? I mean, why else would she promote this? You would want the best person for the job, right? I mean, there are other positions in Secret Service where you're not a field agent. You would be working in the office. You could still be part of the Secret Service, but you don't need to be out there, you know, fumbling around with your holster, or your gun, or your protective equipment, trying to protect the president. And so the optics look good. So, oh, well, look at me, I'm strong. No. You know? I mean, I don't know a man on planet that would want that on their conscience, that, you know, the president, even though he didn't get killed, he got shot, right? My head would be down right now. I'd be like, shit, we failed, man. You know, we screwed up. That guy got up on the roof. You know, on our watch, we screwed up. But that's because we're guys. We'll take accountability, right? But a lot of these women, I'm not saying all, I'm just saying the ones that will push for stuff like this, which are mostly modern women, feminists, they don't take accountability. They'll be like, nah, you know, they'll double down. This is why you see all these videos on social media about these, you know, modern women talk about what badasses these female Secret Service agents are. I'm like, are you kidding me? What world are you living in? Right? That was the height of incompetence yesterday. That was a complete failure on all fronts. Right? Everybody should be ashamed of themselves. People were injured. People were killed. You should all be ashamed of yourself. That guy got up on the roof, right? Even the shooter who got killed. Even the shooter. He might not have had to die had they saw him earlier. They would have just arrested him. They would have brought him in. Said, hey, this guy is psychotic. He needs to go to a mental institution. Let's put him there. You know, he needs help. He needs psychiatric care. Right? His life might have been saved too. Right? And nobody would have got injured. Nobody, I mean, there was a father at this rally who died. You know, he's a father. He was an ex-firefighter too. He lost his life. Why? Because of their negligence. Right? The future is female. There you go. I hate to play the blame game, but there were a lot of opportunities for them to prevent this from happening. A lot of opportunities. It took 7 minutes for that dude to climb that roof. Are you saying, and tons of witnesses were pointing out, hey, dude's climbing the roof, man. He's carrying something, might be a rifle. Shouldn't you check it out? Number of people told the cops that. Number of people. Where's the Secret Service? What are you guys doing? Right? He had plenty of time to get his rifle out, get the scope out, get in perfect firing position. What are you people doing? And it's not like he's hidden in the crowd. He's up on the roof. Right? Even in the movies, the first place that, you know, Secret Service and all of these like FBI, CIA agents are supposed to look for these elevated positions, trees, roofs, right? Light posts, you name it. That's what they're supposed to look for snipers. What were these female Secret Service agents doing? Right? And I'm not blaming the male Secret Service agents that were there are also to blame, obviously. Right? But this comes with the distraction when you put a female in a position where they're surrounded by men. It's distracting, right? It is distracting. This is why, you know, my dad was saying the same thing about Vietnam, and, you know, it's a good thing there were no women there. We would all be distracted, right? There was a good thing. I mean, even like when it comes to cops and firefighters, I keep seeing a lot of these female firefighters and a lot of these female cops. I mean, I kind of mouthed off that one when I got pulled over one time in Calabasas, California. I wasn't even pulled over. I already got to my hotel, and I was getting the stuff out of my car. And don't ever go to Calabasas, man. Their sheriff's department is crap. They're garbage. They'll harass anybody. So I like got out, and I was just kind of annoyed because it was a long drive. And then the guy gets out with his female police officer, who I'm not kidding, was like 4'11", right? And because they were haranguing me about dumb stuff, I just looked at him and I go, "Oh, is this your affirmative action hire?" Because she was like, kind of had an attitude too, like, "Oh, is this supposed to be your affirmative action hire?" He's like, "What? Excuse me? What was that?" I go, "Oh, it's called free speech, man. I can say what I want, you know." That's another thing. You got to stand up for you guys got to know your rights when you get pulled over by these cops, man. You got to know that, you know what? Yeah, know your rights, guys. But anyway, I was like, "Yeah, it's your affirmative action hire, man." He was like, "What? Excuse me? Huh? I was like, "It's called free speech. I can say what I want." You know, and so yeah, he got quiet right away. He realized, like, he's like, "All right, this dude knows his rights." In any case, not to get off track. Yeah, you guys let me know what you think of these DEI hires protecting the president. You know, do you think it's a good idea? You know, just because you're against it, it should not make you a misogynist or anything like that. That is just crazy talk. That's crazy talk. Okay, because when it comes to just free choice, free markets, I mean, the best people will be hired for the job just by, you know, osmosis. Organically, they will find the right people. If you get all of these quotas out of the way, there should be no quotas for anything, right? The best people should get the job. Male, female, black, white, Chinese, Indian, doesn't matter, right? I want the best person in there, period. And clearly, we did not have the best people for the job yesterday protecting President Trump, right? Whether you're for or against him, this video is not, you know, political, like for or against him. I mean, I'm just talking specifically about the women that were supposed to be doing their jobs, that were supposed to be protecting him. But, you know, and I'm not faulting them. They just didn't have, you know, the capability to do it. Because at the end of the day, you know, they took those jobs from people, mostly guys, who were more qualified for it. Right? But again, the future is female. Drop your comments below.